Hi everyone, welcome to this video. Now in this video, we're going to be going over exactly how to secure pages in your Bubble application. What this really means is exactly how do we ensure that users who should not have access to certain parts of your application do not. And we can base this off what kind of user role a user has, if they are a standard user or if they are an admin user, or if a user is logged in or not logged in. So let's jump into our editor and get started. So sitting here again in the Bubble app, which we've been building so far. So that social application, that social network, very much like Facebook, where people can chat, view each other's profiles. Now the page I'm on is the onboarding page that a user will see straight after they actually sign up to our platform, so they can update our profile here. And we don't want a user who is not logged in to be able to view this page. And right now, if I preview this page, you can see here that the user is not logged in, but they can access this page. And we don't want this to occur. So what we need to do is we need to set up a redirect. And what's really important to understand is the manner in which we set up this redirect. And that redirect needs to be set up in a way that ensures that the page doesn't kind of flash on the screen, download data, and then you're redirected to another page. We need to make sure that the user is redirected immediately away from the page without any data being sent from the server to the client. And there's a really particular way of doing that. And what we use is something called redirect checker. And what redirect checker allows us to do is it allows us to see the type of redirect that we're providing. So if we just do it right now, I'll remove the debug mode equals true because that sometimes plays with things. And what I can see here is I get a 200 OK. Everything seems to be fine. So what that means is that we can access this page. And I want to change this so that we can't access this page. And the way that I do that is I need to go to my workflow tab and I actually need to set up a server-side redirect. If you go back to our first video where we talked about client versus server relationships, we want to do this at the server so that even before any information hits the client, any condition on the client, we want it on the server side so that the redirect action occurs before the data is sent to the page. And the way we do that is we put a condition on the page's loaded workflow. And when the current user is logged out, I want them to go to the page index. And that should fix my issue. So if I'll delete that, I'll copy that, and then I'll press enter. And you can see I was automatically redirected. So if I press enter again and just show you again, it didn't even change. There was no quick flash of the screen. So if we go back to here and we just see what this actually looks like, what we can see is when we try to hit that first URL, 302 is found. And then we go to the index page, 200 OK. And that's what we want. So we want to use a 302 redirect. And what that means is it means that the actual content is not reachable. So no information on that page entered our device. It never got to our client because we were redirected immediately. And that's the type of redirection that we want in our application. So whenever you're setting up a redirect, try to access it as a user who shouldn't be allowed to have access, and then make sure that there's a 302 redirect. Now, one of the nice things with Bubble or with Canvas and using the Canvas application is we don't actually need to do that. Canvas comes with this natively built in. And to show you how this works, we can go to data, option sets, and click on Bubble pages. And every single Bubble page comes up as an option, and we can add attributes. Is this page private? And then which user roles are allowed to access this page if it is private. So if we go to onboarding, what I can do is I can go, this page is private, yes, and I want the app admin, and I want the standard user role to be able to access it. And there's actually a workflow in the header, which checks the page we're on, checks if the user is allowed to have access, and if they are not allowed to have access, it results in a 302 redirect back to the index page or back to another page. And that's just a useful. Canvas comes with this built in, a really easy way for you to update that. And the final thing that I want to highlight to you, and something that we do see often, if I go back to my onboarding page, is you see pop-ups like this. And what we call them is a redirect pop-up. So people will go, hey, you're not allowed to access this page. Then they'll check this box where they go, this pop-up can't be closed by pressing escape. And they assume that that protects the page. But in reality, this pop-up is really easy to remove. Like if you use Chrome DevTools, you can just remove that pop-up really easily. So that's actually not a secure way of redirecting a person from the page. Even if you have a button that says, click this button to be redirected, it's just not a secure way because you're already loading the onboarding page and it'll still come up as a 200. We want that 302 or 301. We want that 300 series redirect.